Hey guys, my name is Charles McAtee, and I'm going to teach you guys how to calculate your grades using Excel. So first, obviously, you're going to want to download Excel and open up a new workbook. And second, what we're going to do is start to format our workbook. So click up in this upper left-hand corner of the spreadsheet where my mouse is, and then go over to the upper tab in this number section and make sure that it's set to number. This will keep any of the values entered from turning into a date or a fraction or something different. Next, you're going to want to pull up your syllabus for the class you want to calculate it for, and I'm going to do this class, English 3140. So here on the right side is a screenshot of the grading report for this class. So what you're first going to want to do is make a little chart similar to the one shown on the right to organize the worksheet. So we'll divide into three categories like it is on the right, and one category will be assignments. I'll type that in the upper corner. The next one's going to be quantity, and the third one is going to be percentage. This is simply here so that when you're doing the rest of the worksheet, you can just look on the worksheet for the values that you'll need to calculate the final grade. Next, what we'll do is we'll fill this out as it is shown on the right. So under assignments, we'll do formal papers. Then next we'll do peer reviews, discussion board assignments, and then total points. Simple thing to do to keep the formatting correct so you can see the full words is double clicking like I'm about to do. If you highlight the column and then scroll over to where you get this T shape to drag it over, if you double click this, it'll resize the column so that you can see all the text in that column. I'm going to do this for each column to keep everything organized. Next, we'll fill in these values taken off the syllabus. So for formal papers, we'll do the quantity as in the number of formal papers will be in the final grade calculation, and as you can see on the right, that is 3. For peer reviews, you have 3 as well. And in discussion board assignments, there's 10. Next, what we'll do is we'll add the percentage that these make up of the final grade. So formal papers are 65, peer reviews are 15, discussion board assignments are 20. And then at this total points, what we're going to do is add an equation to calculate the total percentage to make sure that they're all entered in right. So what you do is hit the enter key, SUM, which is the equation to make a sum, and then highlight each of these 3 values above. Close the parenthesis and click enter, and it should read 100 if you did it correctly. Next, what I'm going to do is color these green just to make it a little bit more organized. By doing that, you can highlight the cells like I've shown, and then go up above into the font section, into the fill, and there you can select them from a variety of colors, and I'll just choose green. I'm going to do that for that column as well as this row. Next, what we'll do is add the grading scale. This is simply to make it easy to see and calculating and looking at the final grade. So I'll make the title here grading scale. Then in the below columns, do A through F. A, B, C, D, F. And then beside that, I'm going to click in this cell and enter the values shown on the right from the syllabus. So A, 90 to 100. B, 80 to 89. C, 70 to 79. 60 to 69 for D. And 0 to 59 for F. This can be different varying on the syllabus for both sections, the assignments and percentages part and the grading scale. That should just be taken off the syllabus, and if there's more than just 3 different types of assignments like I have highlighted, just simply add that to a below row until you eventually get all the assignments and add the percentages to 100. Next, I'm going to do more formatting like I did previously to this side to make it easier to read. One thing I'm going to do differently is at this top on grading scale, since this is a 2-column chart, what I'll do is highlight the cell that it's typed in and the one beside it, and then go above into cells or alignment and click merge and center. this will align this perfectly over the two columns that is in. And then I'll also edit this to add it to make it green, similar to what we did the first time. Next, we're going to create subsections for each of the different assignment types. So first, what I'll put here is formal papers. And then, since there are 3 papers written in quantities, I'm going to make 3 different headers to put each separate grade. So here I'll add paper 1, then I'll go paper 2, and then paper 3. And then finally at the end, we're going to add an average column to calculate the average in that cell below so that we can determine the final grade at the end. Again, I'm going to do formatting by double clicking in the columns to align it for each different text. Also, we'll make these green again to make it easier to read. And what we'll do is we'll do this for each of the different assignment types. So here I'm going to add peer reviews. 3 peer reviews, so I'll do peer review 1, peer review 2, peer review 3, and then at the end average. And then again I'll do the same formatting by double clicking up top in the columns so you can see all the text in each. Forgot to have the 3. Make them green as I did above. And then finally, all the discussion board assignments. Discussion board 1, discussion board 2. And as there's 10 here, as you can see in the quantity above, it would take a while to type all these out. So one way, after entering 1 and 2, you can highlight both of these cells. And then in the bottom right corner, if you hold down, you can find a little plus key, and you can drag that over. And as you can see below, it will increase the number of discussion board. So you can drag that until you get to discussion board 10. And then format these columns again. This is longer than before. Go ahead and make this full screen. Then at the end, we'll do an average again. Make all of this green. And at the bottom, we'll add final grade. And below that, we'll put the final average. And now we have it all correctly formatted, so we're ready to enter in our grades. So to enter in the grades, the way we're going to do it is do it by percentages. So it's going to be a decimal, like an 85 would be a 0.85. The way we'll do this is by opening a calculator. You can do this on your computer, or you can just do it with an external calculator. So here I can look through at Blackboard, for example, and figure out what grades I got on each assignment. So for paper 1, let's just say I got a 19.5 out of 20. So I'll go into my calculator and type that in. And so that'll make it 0.975. So what we'll do is we'll enter that in to paper 1. It's key that when doing this, you keep the values in the decimal form, otherwise the final percentage will be calculated wrong. So what I'll do is I'll just make up some grades. Say I got 20 out of 20 on the second one, which would just be 100. And the next one, we'll go 19 out of 20, so it'll be 0.95. In this average column, what we'll do is we'll calculate the total average. So by doing that, we'll hit the enter key and actually type out the word average. You can see below it's recommending the different functions I can use, and average is one we're going to go for. So after typing in average, you need to make sure it's correct, otherwise it will not work correctly. Hit open parenthesis, and then what you're going to want to do is highlight the 3 values in this row. So you can do that by clicking on the first one, holding, and then dragging over to each value. This will calculate the average of these 3 values. So then close parenthesis, and then since these are decimals, we'll times these by 100 to give us the integer value of the percent. So since you can see how to calculate and what to put the decimal in for each assignment, I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in and fill in the averages the exact same as I did above, highlighting all the cells to the left with the assignment grade value. So here I made the assumed values for each grade. So as you can see, on each end under the average, I did the same function as I did above. You can see it as it's highlighted. You can see these light blue cells are the cells that the function is calling from to make the calculation. Make sure to times it by the end by 100 and that all your values here are decimals. That is the same as over here. Oops. It's the same over here, as you can see, except just with more cells. So now what we're going to do is calculate the final grade. So you're going to start with the function by hitting the equal sign. So then this is when you're going to use the tables. What you'll do is you'll select the average from up above for each different assignment type. So for the formal papers, our average is 97.5. And what we're going to do is times that by the percentage value divided by 100 to make sure that it's a fraction. By doing that, what we're going to do, if you follow my cursor above, C2 is where the percentage is for formal papers. We're going to put parentheses around that and divide that by 100 to make it into the percentage decimal. We're going to do that for each different average and add them all together. So here, for peer reviews, I'll select the peer review value, times that by open parenthesis, the percentage of peer reviews of the final grade, divided by 100. Add that, discussion board, times, open parenthesis, discussion board assignment percentage value, divided by 100. You want to make sure to use these parentheses, otherwise it will not calculate this correct. And as you can see below, the final grade comes out to a 98.13. This is useful for calculating your final grade, so you know that if you have upcoming assignments, how well or how bad you can do to maintain the grade that you want. So here we have a 98.3. We can look in the grading scale and realize that's an A. Say that for paper 3, we want to know the worst grade we can get to maintain an A. What we can do here is come in and change the value. So say that we wanted to see if we got an 80 on paper 3, if we would still maintain an A. Enter 0.80, and all the values will change. You can notice you still maintain 94.88. But say on paper 2, you got a 75, so 0.75. You can see that the final grade now drops to an 89.46, which makes it a B. So this is very useful to use to help calculate your grade so you know what to expect for upcoming assignments. This can be changed for any sort of syllabus just by updating these upper tables. The grading scale is just a visual aid to easily look back and forth to determine what an A, B, C, or D would be. The values as well can change. If there were 4 peer reviews, it would just have 4 columns and then average. And as you can see, by using the functions on the end and the final function, you can easily change values and the final value will change. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this was helpful.